Hello, this is Chris from musicards, and in this tutorial video I'm going to show you how to add students to your musicards account and how to share those links that are created with the students so that they can access their musicards activities. Um, Make sure that you like and subscribe, and also select notifications if you're planning to use musicards this fall and want to learn all of the features that it has as the videos come out. So to get started, let's get right into it. We're going to click Add Students on the top left, and that brings up our Create Students window. There's one checkbox that you can control, add multiple students. You can switch that off, and then you're just going to add one student and it's going to close the window. But if you have this on, there's this add button and you can add students, several of them, in a batch operation. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So I'll go ahead and start typing my first student's name. Oh, but wait a second. You may not be able to put full students' names in here. Some school district policies have privacy policies where you're not allowed to do that. So the only requirement with this field is that it can't be empty. So you could put the student initials, you could put in like a special code, anything like that for a name. But for this video's purposes, I'm going to use some fake names. So let's go ahead and put our first student, and then I press Tab, and now I'm selecting my instrument. Well, he plays flute, so I'm going to type in flute, and it auto-completes. If you want, you can do the you can use this drop-down menu and select from that. And then I'm going to press Tab, and then you have to give a grade, which can be from 1 to 12. If by chance you're teaching an adult, I would recommend just putting in 12 in there, and that should be fine. But this is going to be an 8th grade band. From grade, you can press Enter or Add, and now you see that the student has been added. But also, the cursor's gone back to select the name. So now I can go put in my next student's name, tab right through this. They're also on the flute, and hit enter, and then I've entered that person. So you don't need to use the mouse really to enter in students. There's one other shortcut I want to show you. So I'm going to put in this student, and then if instead of pressing tab, I just press enter, it skips over the instrument. So when you're entering the whole section of your band, you can just enter a name, enter a grade, press enter, and there's your flute section in there. Now, if I wanted to switch to a different instrument, I just press tab instead, and I can type in the instrument, and then I'm going and putting in another instrument. And you can see that the instruments are color-coded. Our flutes are blue, and our clarinets are green, and that's going to be very useful. So let's go ahead and add one more person. And now we've got 5 people we're going to add. We click Save and Close, and those students are added into your music cards. And so that's the first order of business we have. Now the next thing, and this is going to be what you want to do on the first day of school, is you want to give these students their link. So I go up onto the top right, and there's a link for student URLs. If I click on that, you can see each of these students has a special URL. Take my quiz, and then they've got some random letters and everything here. So I can click copy URLs, and all of these are copied to the clipboard. I could paste them in an email. That's one way you can go about getting the URLs to your students. I can also hold down Command and P, and it's going to print a nicely formatted list of all the students and their URLs, which can be good for you. And then another one that you can do is I can click Show QR Codes, and this creates this nice little message here to your student that says where the URL is, and it gives a QR code that the student can just scan and it takes it right to it. And when I print that, it's going to print 4 to a page. So you can see it's nicely formatted. That's actually how I would recommend. You get your whole band loaded in here, you click show URLs and you print, and then right off your printer comes out all of these. You can cut them on the line, and then you are all ready for your students. Now, one thing I do want to show you before you print these URLs, take a little moment to read these. These are totally random generated, and you might find something in here that you don't necessarily like to see. So another thing to notice is notice how all of these, the first part of this code is the same. That links to your teacher account. And say I don't like what I have. I have O1BIJX. Well, you can't control what you set it to because it's not a username. But what I can do is I can change what that is by clicking in this top right corner on your user account, and then I go to user settings, and here in this window where you can add and change information in your account, there is down at the bottom teacher portal URL, and there's where that same value is. I click change URL. It's going to give you a warning. And this is why you want to do this before you print out your sheets, because if you change this, every student's URL from the past becomes invalid. So, and you can't change it back to what it was before. So I'm going to click change URL. Then when it reloads, you can see now I've got a different code in there. So everything has been updated. The QR codes are now all different, and the URLs are all different. So make sure you handle that first. And then when you look down your list, you might find that one student, you may want to change what that is. Also, maybe if you find out that students are using the wrong accounts, what you can do, you can always come here to this left list of where your students are. You can click on the 3 dots and then edit student. And then I can change this student's URL. He's got 4G6PCI. I change that. And now he's got a totally different URL. Now that's going to break. The old sheet that he had is not going to work anymore, but now this new sheet will be around. So that's enough for our first tutorial. That should get you started. I hope this video was informative to you. And please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you can get more information, and happy teaching.